Don Lee.
Don, could you step back?
Don? Yeah, this is Don.
Would you just step back?
Don has done a multi-axis on the top and he's undercut it. Actually, he's done a very nice job here. He's done a very nice job cutting it.
What are you doing on the, what is that on the inside? Inlet?
Oh, that's the mistake. That takes away from the piece. That makes it a souvenir piece at the beach. But other than that, it's a well-turned piece. It's actually a gallery piece at the garage piece or a gas station piece. You can't hear me? Just as well he doesn't hear me.
Don, people have been asking, is there a hole in there you covered up with the swan?
No.
Okay. I told him no. Unless the swan put it there.
This is a really nice piece. When Don did a multi-axis on the back, he also did multi-axis on the front. The only problem with the piece, and it's really turned very nicely, the design is nice. The only problem is the color.
Come here. Come here.
He was colorblind.
Hey!
You guys want to have these side conversations? You mind if you head out to the hallway over here?
I said, you might almost think he was colorblind. Actually, it's a putrid color. It's a well-produced piece. It's a roll rim with the multi-axis. I mean, it's very well executed. What I would do is wash it black gesso to dull it down. This is another one. It's well done. It actually, the lack of color, the lack of gold, is really very nice. I saw this one with gold, and it really took away from the piece. This is a very nice piece, and that's not brown. That's red.
It said brown on the marker, that's all I know.
But Don does some very, very nice pieces. He does a lot of multi-axis in the front of the pieces that are very nice.
Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead, Frank. Be brutal.
No, it's interesting. I don't really normally turn oak. I don't find oak very attractive. This is scented very nicely here. It's a little heavy, just a little heavy. It's well designed. I would have taken this in just a wee bit. One of the things you want with design is you want that foot to fit under here. In other words, you want the design, the foot to come like so, as opposed to coming down this way. I would have brought it in just a little bit, but he did a neat feature here that separated the upper part from the lower part. And it helped him get away with some of that by breaking the transition up at the beach. It was a neat trick. You almost got away with it. But basically, it's a well executed ball. I just would have made it a little thinner. What is the wood?
What? It's red oak. This piece of firewood on
You
the...
couldn't afford a decent piece of wood.
I just saw this piece of wood lying on a firewood pile and it just scared me.
I'll give him a piece.
All right, take care of
I'll
it,
give
Mike.
him a piece so he can have something.
Actually, it's very nice. I like these natural edge pieces. I wouldn't change it. I like this really. Because it's not trying to be something it's not. It's just really a nice natural edge piece.
Okay, thanks.
Did you add any color to this?
No, that's natural.
Oh, it's nice and dark. I like that brown. One of the things about Bob's stuff, he just does a phenomenal job finishing. If you look at the stuff, it can be the simplest piece, but it's finished exceptionally well. And that's really important if you're going to have a gallery piece as opposed to a craft piece. That's finished very well. Even the base, he didn't just pot it off. He has a nice little base there. And I like your little texture stuff at the end there. That's just a nice piece. $1.55. But it's just a nice simple piece. We won't talk about this one.
Hey, you know it's a piece of junk like that.
Cecil does nice work. This is not up to Cecil's standard. You gotta finish this. But this was turning this stuff is, you have to be masochistic to begin with, I think. But the outside is nice. You get a nice little shape here, that's fine. I would have done a little bit more with the base, but the inside, we won't talk about that.
It's hard to sand inside.
You noticed that, didn't you? Particularly with this walnut. But that is not up to your standard at all. That's nice. Joe? Joe, it's a nice box.
I think that's Madrone, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure, Joe. But it's neat. It's very simple. Very, 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 quote, I won't say plain, but it's not. Very, very simple. But really, very, very nicely done. And I like the way it's joined. You really can't tell where it's joined. I mean, it's very simple. I don't see any texture in the base or anything like that, Joe. You losing texture,
I
Joe?
thought I was doing good to get it turned without any marks on it.
Very nice, Joe. Now this is another nice little piece. Which I like about this is the fact that it's going to sit up off the table. You've got just a little bead in here, almost a little double bead in here. Sit it up. It would really be nice. That sits up nice. It wouldn't be as nice if it didn't have this, because once again, it would be sitting in the table. This really sits nicely on the table. Just that little bit made all the difference in the world, this piece. Very nice. Whose is it? Nice. Very nice. I like it. Very nice little piece. But that really made the difference, I think, in terms of how it sits. That made it really special. Someone else couldn't afford a decent piece of wood. Where are we? Okay. Really? I'm impressed. I've not been turning very long. This is impressive. You've been hanging around with Dawn. Not really. I noticed because it's not colored green. No, it's really nice. And then actually the base comes in really quite nicely. That is, someone has been turning this as long as you have. That's spectacular. Seriously. Someone's been turning for several years or so would be proud of this piece. That's well done. Next time, see if you got a piece without wormholes in it. You know, you might.
See, that's a diameter bolt.
I don't think you can hold a hell of a lot of soup in here.
You gotta eat back.
It's turned well, but it sits in the table. You see how it comes? Once again, if you're doing a utilitarian bowl, this works. This is it. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It works. It's sitting flat. And what's nice about it is he also sits on an edge here. But I would have done one of two things, or maybe two things. Once again, I would have brought that in just a hair, just a slight hair, just to start the curve so I have a little shadow. You see how it sits so far down? And another little trick, which Bob tried to do, sneak it in, put just even with a pyramid tool, just to put a little bead here to break the transition. If you're not going to go, you know, bring that down just a bit around. The rest of it is just absolutely ideal. I love it. I mean, it's just really nice. I mean, it's well turned. If you feel this stuff, it is well turned. It really is.
That's not mine.
Oh, I was going to say, you only had a small piece of wood? Someone's copying your design then.
That's Ted too.
How come you copied Joe's design?
I thought you copied me.
Very nice. Seriously, that is nice. So you learned that. Did you do that with the pyramid?
Yeah.
That's another nice little piece. No one owns it? Oh, I can say, take it home. Once again, I like that. Once again, it sits up nicely. Very, very nice. A little more curve.
Road runner edge.
Whoa. I'm gonna see it all out again.
nobody's seen it, I can't say what's wrong.
It really is, and I like that, I really do. I think that really sits up nicely. You can see the really nice curve here. I like the little cove here, I like the little OG here, very nicely. Uniform all the way through, very nice. Erosion maker. I love erosion maker.
That was mine.
Now this is interesting. This is an interesting. It's almost like I'm trying to think of the name of the bowl. Calabash. It's like a calabash bowl. You know, you sort of sit here like this. Your popcorn, you know, you don't want a base here. You just sort of sit. That's a neat idea. I like it. It's really kind of neat. Once again, I think I would have taken a little bit more down in here. It looks gorgeous. And it feels nice. The curve is nice. That's just a personal thing. I would have taken just a hair out. That's a nice bowl. Look at that. It shows off. It just shows off the erosion. You couldn't have done a nicer piece for that.
That was the one I turned with Jimmy Clues out in Jeremiah.
Is that right? So that's. Yeah, he knows how to turn.
He's done it once in a while.
That's Joe does the calabash bowls. It's Mike Mahoney does those calabash bowls that they walk and everything like that. It's really kind of nice. You wanna?
I think it's red ash. I think it's thick. We had a big debate. It was heavy this time. It's very wet.
That's right.
It's amazing that it didn't churn what it did. This piece here, if in fact it was added, would have been interesting if you wanted to take it to another level. And that would have been dyed green.
Green.
That is for gold.
Dyed black, total black,
Swan.
and then sanded. Just put a swan in the bucket. But I would have then used liming wax. And you did a piece a few years ago, that black vase that you did with the liming wax, with the eyeball. I mean, seriously, you want this piece. And ash is absolutely the perfect wood to do that with, because the line will get into the grain, and it just absolutely beautiful. That's something that we should try sometime, explore those. But that piece that I remember that Bob had done was just absolutely perfect. But that's what you do with ash. That's a nice little piece.
The grain actually didn't come out until after it dried up. Now you can start to,
So now you can sand it, we can take it back in ash, you know.
it's just an experiment.
Myself, I would have, it's a real nice bowl. I personally, it's too plain for me.
We've had this big
Everything's too
argument
plain.
about, I'm saying that less is more with that one, so it's got that one little spot on the white.
See, what I would have done,
Frank wants the texture, and I know it.
I wouldn't have textured, but I would have put a bead in the transition right here. Just a tall, teeny little bead right down in here. That would have brought your eye right back down into it. But it's a nice little piece. Okay, let's move quickly. Oh, you did another. Once again, if you have a chance, touch Bob's pieces. I don't know anyone, and I do it a lot on the base with either simple bead, little texture, something like that, and you can even do stuff inside, you know, once again, but it's a beautiful, plain, you know, just not well designed here. I would have brought this down just a wee bit, and I also would have maybe put something down in here to break the transition, because it does meet here. You see, it does meet, I would have, once again, you want the bowl, you want the base to meet here, not down here.
I don't like to have the knots in it.
Say again?
I don't know, to have the knots in it.
No, not as long as it doesn't split. No. Not at all. No, it's not splitting. No, not at all. You could have painted it green. Whose is this? Sycamore. Bugs like sycamore. Now this is nice. See, it's all equal thickness all the way through. And This is interesting. It doesn't work for me only because we got a real flat base. It's a beautiful piece. You've done a beautiful job, and you know, it literally is equal all the way through. I like this the top. I like the little flare and stuff like that. And it has nothing to do with the piece. There's nothing wrong with the piece. For me, I would like to see a little bit more curve here. I think it would give it a little more grace. I see a lot of the English turners who are wonderful turners, skilled, really skilled, but their stuff sits pretty flat. And you take it a little bit down with a little more curve into it, and it's amazing how that piece just lifts. And it's a difference between, this is very utilitarian in the sense that it sits flat. You put it, raised it, like we saw either with a little foot or a little V, or just bring the curve in, all of a sudden, it really, all honesty, it triples the price of the piece. I'm serious. I'm serious. It triples the price of the piece. But you did a beautiful job turning it. Sorry? Oh, this is a nice piece. Nice. I like this. This is nice. Now see, I like that. Very, very simple. You see how simple that is? That is absolutely, that's neat. So simple, but yet perfect. I like that. That's nice. That is, I wouldn't change it at all. Touch it. That's nice.
What is the wood? Is it all?
It's probably pine. No, it's a maple burl.
Yeah.
Isn't a burl is nice?
Yeah, I had the idea for the top part in my head. I just threw a block of wood on just to see what I can do.
I don't even think a top is needed. Not for this. Not for this. This is nice. This is nice. You put a little glue here for that crack.
Small, yeah.
Yes. You take a 600 grit, and you get a little bit of glue off and stick it away from the top. That's a nice piece. Yeah, I'd get rid of that. Motion it. What is it? Candlestick?
Kind of a vase.
Kind of a
It was
vase.
going to be another coffee travel mug, but I blew the thickness, so I had to make something else.
Coffee, not big enough.
Right.
Vodka, it's a plenty, you know. We'll have to have you spend some time with Terry Brown and do some spindle turning.
It's a weed pot.
It's a weed pot. Actually, it could be a
How far does
flower pot, stuff like that there.
Not very.
I brought that in because it was so ugly that my wife said I shouldn't do it. I have a ton of wood like that. Is it just a waste of time to turn it?
No, actually, one of the really classic pieces that turned is this wormy piece like this here that absolutely spectacular.
Like an 8 inch or
But
something?
once again, it has to be uniform, and it has. What's taken away from this piece is not this. You know, you can deal with that, but it's the base. It's this. Bring it down, bring it in, do something with the base. But no, I think that to have this wormy ash and all these wormy pieces and stuff, no. In fact, you could really, they're very desirable as an art piece. Seriously. I don't recommend putting soup in it, but I think it's an art piece. No, I would, look at the design, Dale Nation. Worming wood. Mike, what do you think?
What?
What kind of wood?
Oh, I didn't look at it.
It's not Coca-Cola.
It's deteriorated so much into this.
Right? It's fog wood.
Oh, wow. This is interesting. Who did it?
That's me
Oh,
too.
that's neat. Now we're getting practical. That's nice. What can I say? It's nice. I've seen one of these before. That's kind of neat.
I'd put it in my cup holder.
That's a practice job. I had resigned from the job and go post. I wanted to see if I could try to better.
The only thing is, what you want to try to avoid is shoulders like this. This is a very hard shoulder. Roll it just slightly, makes all the difference in the terms of the way it looks. You look at this, and it's fine if you want to make a set and make it look like that, but I would have rolled that, give it a little softer shoulder, soft curve.
In my inexperience, or is yellow kind of hard to turn as far as tearing and stuff?
You see much of it here?
You see much of it? Have you ever seen anyone else turn yellow pine? There's a reason. You just discovered it. No, but I would soften that just slightly. Terry showed me this. This is a total surprise to me. This is red tip. And he did a beautiful job turning this little box, threaded box. But for those who thread chase, look at the threads. I'm blown away. These are absolutely perfect threads. I never would have believed it. You know, this is as good as you get with English boxwood. I mean, just perfect threads. This is neat. This is neat.
Is red
This is
tip
red tip.
in what do you call it?
Fatinian?
Patinium, red tip patinium. Unbelievable.
When you
I mean, isn't it really
that's
just
so smooth, you don't
I
ever
mean,
have
the
to
threads,
say
they don't look close to the threads. They are perfect, absolutely perfect. I never would have believed you could do that with red tip. And I think I spent several years of avoiding all this English boxwood, so I could thread chase and he doesn't on red tip. This is gorgeous. Who did that?
Wayne is here.
What did you finish it with, Wayne? What did you finish it with?
It's not spray lacquer, it's spray finish, or a damn spray finish.
It feels funny. Feel that, Bob. All the years I've been turning, I've never turned it ever. Feel that. Something, it's not quite, is that what it's spray wash? That's spray wash. It's not, Bob's a good fit.
You used to sand it, put 2 or 3 more coats on it, keep on sanding it, and then give it a real fine set.
It just doesn't, you can feel it. It's not, the difference is, when I feel something like this, feel the difference. And Jeff is a paint chemist, so anyone needs to know about finishing, this is the guy to talk to. But seriously, you feel the difference. It's a world of difference between the two finishes. This is absolutely phenomenal. That needs work.
But if the guys are deaf and damn cheap, that's why the varnish feels like that.
Thank you, Jeff.
They cut it back.
But seriously, this guy would know. Okay, anything else?
What kind of wood is that?
Brown?
Looks like gum.
I think it's gum.
It does look like gum, doesn't it?
It's cracking too.
Gum
It's splitting in here too, yeah. Don't turn gum. Or pine. Once again, and this is something that I recommend you don't do. Look at the base. Okay, now, it's a solid base. So what you're sitting on is the whole base. So eventually, you see what's happening? What you would do is always undercut this so you're sitting on just the tip of the edge.
I brought those in just because I used the half-inch steel, drill a hole through the metal, and make the handles for quarter-inch tools.
These. The handles are a nice size for spindle work. I always do spindle work, 7-inch handles in front of you something. That's nice. Do you actually use this?
Not very much.
That can make an actually nice tool, but this is not a quote scraper. This is really just a quarter-inch spindle master, which can be really wonderful for doing fine things. But you need about a 30-degree to 35-degree grind here. This is 70. You're using it like a scraper, so it shouldn't be cutting very well for you.
No, I can say I ground it and threw it in the thing, and I put it in here just because I wanted something to do.
But it's a good tool. No, it's a good tool. It could be a good tool. But what you want to do when you do a tool like this, you make a tool like this, you want to go halfway through the steel. You're going to get the biggest circle in the halfway through. And then you want to put at least 35, because this is going to use some fine work. So a 30 or 35 degree grind, you get a wonderful spindle master. This will give you sweet finishes. This is neat. When I first saw this, I would not guess. You know what this is? Everyone know what this is? I would never have guessed that. The way it was done, by putting this here, did disguise that really well. That's a neat idea. That disguise that. I mean, really, that's just a neat idea. It really is. It's just a neat idea. I never would have thought of it. I looked at it and thought it was a drumstick, which it is. But isn't that neat? That is neat.
What was funny about that was,
These were just the Smiths. I don't know who did these, but we're just the Smiths that stuff.
I did the stuff across the back.
Todd, couldn't you do this last night?
Yeah.
Todd gets carried away.
Well, you were the one who said you don't do just one, you got to do 15 of them.
I didn't mean at the same time.
Oh, all right.
These are nice little pepper grinders and stuff like that. Interesting, Todd.
Well, I'd be more interested in which one you thought was heading in the right direction or the better of the lot from a design point of view.
Okay, what I would... These are really interesting designs, you know, it's all in the work, etc., etc. But it's almost... I guess they'd be okay. But I would have see closer to where you would have a piece come up here and a piece come down here, and you'd be grabbing in the center. I'm sort of grabbing it like this, as opposed to like this. That's not very clear.
I didn't understand.
The one that feels right, Frank.
Yeah, well, there's 11 of them there. Try feeling some of the others.
I'm wrestling my hand here, so I can get away with that. I would have made this small, and this is too big. See how the whole thing, I just would have made it smaller.
Well, they're tend to
All of
be
these
top
are good.
heavy. That's why the base
Yeah, I
has
know,
to be.
but
They'll just fall over.
No, it won't actually. I have one I've had for years. It's only that top, but I would have made that smaller. It takes away from the design. These are just a little bit, this is much too big. Much too big for that. You don't need it. You really don't need that big a top.
That one was one that fell over.
The designs are interesting, but I definitely would have made that smaller. I've said enough. Thank you.
Can you look at the...
On the rail.
That was Alan's suggestion to just... I said I was having trouble with, you know, that type of shapes, and he said spindle turner.
That is a great idea. That is an excellent idea. This is what I recommend. Oh my God. Take shapes, practice it. Don't finish a piece. Don't use expensive wood. This is what I use poplar for all the time. Practice your shapes, and we could spend 30 or 40 minutes just talking about the shape and the curves. You always want a soft curve. You don't want a hard shoulder. That's a whole thing in itself. Just talking about shapes like this. It's as easy to do a good shape as a bad shape. They're really, honest to God, there's no more difficulty than turning to do a good shape. We all can do it. It's just a matter of understanding the